There are people out there who think that Colin Trevorrow's Star Wars Episode 9 would have been better than what we got. Watch this finale and then say that to my face, because, nah. Jurassic World Dominion was released in 2022, directed by Colin Trevorrow, starring Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. And, it's 1 point better than the last movie, but it's still not good. So let's get on it with it. Get in with the good, and there's a couple things that aren't terrible. First of all, I liked seeing the original trilogy back. Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern. Fun to see them again together on screen. Now, they have each returned in a previous movie. Jeff Goldblum returned in The Lost World, and then he returned for Fallen Kingdom. Sam Neill and Laura Dern both returned for Jurassic Park 3, but they haven't all three been on screen together since the first movie. So it was cool to see them together again. It's not like they give any of them any meaningful dialogue, but it was still fun to see them together. The visual effects, as with every single Jurassic Park movie, are good. You're not going to get an ugly Jurassic Park movie. There is not one that is ugly to look at. I haven't had one yet. I genuinely don't think this new one's going to start that trend. I enjoyed the visuals here. The score as well. I enjoyed the score. It's not the original score, but it's still good. There's some scenes where the classic theme kicks in, where it feels like, okay, we're only doing this because a moment from the first movie was recreated, but regardless, I enjoyed the score. That's it. On to the bad, and, wow. Oh boy. Oh dear. People have said, oh, I like this movie. This movie closed off a lot of plot threads in a satisfying way. Satisfying how? Genuinely. Okay. I don't like Owen in this movie. He has outstayed his welcome officially. Again, I don't think that this character serves any purpose past the first movie. Claire as well. I hate the fact that I don't like Claire, because I love Bryce Dallas Howard. But I haven't liked Claire from day one. And honestly, Owen was barely enjoyable at the first movie as well. But Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, they really did not need to come back for the sequels in this series. Also, Maisie, the little girl from Fallen Kingdom, she's a main character here. I did not care for this character. She was an unbearably angsty teenager who just argues with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard constantly, and then she gets kidnapped, and that starts the plot. And yeah, had this character just listened to the two characters who were pretty much raising her, we wouldn't have had to sit through this movie. But alas, plot gotta happen. Yeah, I didn't care for any of these three characters. The villains here are bad. You remember Lewis Dodgson from one singular scene in the original movie, and then him and his company are never mentioned again in any of the other sequels. Yeah, he's the villain here. He's the main villain. He has been the overarching main villain the entire time. I don't care. This character was in one scene, and yeah, I just did not care for this character. Then you got Henry Wu, who was set up as the main villain of this trilogy. He has done a complete 180 as a character. He's a good guy, and he regrets all of his past actions. This is not the Henry Wu that we saw in Jurassic World, or even Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I like B.D. Wong as an actor. I liked him in Jurassic World. I loved him in Gotham as Hugo Strange. But, yeah, did not care for what they did with Henry Wu here. The story is so stupid. And I don't care for the story. By the end of Fallen Kingdom, we think, oh, the next movie is going to be about humanity trying to thrive while living alongside dinosaurs. Nope, that's out the window, and it's now a movie about a conspiracy with genetically modified locusts that Dodgson is releasing onto the world so they can destroy all crops that are not bought through his company. That is not the movie we were promised in Fallen Kingdom. That is not the movie we were promised in the trailers. I'm sorry, but locusts as your grand finale. Get that out of here. Throw it away. I hate it with a passion. And honestly, that's just the whole story. It's that, and then Owen and Claire trying to save Maisie from Biosyn while the original trilogy tried to expose Biosyn with Henry Wu kind of manipulating the whole thing to try and get out of Biosyn. So convoluted, yet so paper thin. The editing in this movie is pretty bad. The pacing is atrocious. And just like with Superman Returns, the runtime really adds to that. This movie, depending on which cut you watch, is either 2.5 hours long or almost 3 hours long. This is, regardless of which cut you watch, the longest movie in the series, and you feel it. I do not like the runtime, the pacing. They add so much unneeded junk into this movie just to pad the runtime because they're thinking, oh, grand finale movie must be longer. And yeah, no. I didn't like the ending either. It really did not feel like a finale ending. And just seeing how we're getting a new one now, whatever. Also, this is the biggest issue with this movie. There is so much empty fan service in this movie. It's not even funny. Like, remember when Ian Malcolm had his shirt halfway opened in the first movie? Guess what? He does it again in this movie. Remember when Ian Malcolm lured a giant dinosaur away from a group of people? Well, guess what? He does it in this movie. Remember when there was a three-way dino battle in the third act in Jurassic World? Guess what? It happens again in this movie. Remember Louis Dodgson from the first movie who was only in one scene? Guess what? He's the main villain here. Remember the Barbasol can that he gave Dennis Nedry? It makes an appearance here. I was just waiting for Wayne Knight to come out of the shadow with a half-burnt face and reveal that Dennis Nedry was in on it with Dodgson the whole time, but he didn't actually die. And I was waiting for Owen to look at Alan Grant and say, hey, remember that kid you terrorized about velociraptors in the first movie? I was that kid, and I became a raptor trainer because of your speech to me. That's how stupid the fan service is in this movie. And it's so empty and hollow and horrible, and I hate it, and I don't like it, and I don't want to talk about it anymore, so I'm moving on to the final thoughts. Yeah, I don't like this movie. I don't like anything it stands for. Honestly, this next movie has nowhere to go but up because the bar is on the ground. The bar was on the ground with Fallen Kingdom, and this movie showed up with a shovel and buried the bar. So, Rebirth has nowhere to go but up. But, yeah, I don't like it. Jurassic World Dominion is a terrible movie. I don't get the following it has, and I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion. God, I hate this movie. I don't like it. What are your thoughts on this movie? Maybe some people just have fun with it, and fine, but I'm just so cynical towards this franchise at this point. I just want to watch the first one and be done with it. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about this movie, if you've seen it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.